You're listening to Operation Self Reset with Jake Naraki. What is going on, you freaking awesome people? Welcome back to Operation Self Reset. My name is Jake Naraki, coming to you live from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where each and every week we dive into a different topic in the world of personal development. Today is the topic of numbing of life. It is something that you and I have experienced probably a lot of times, maybe little mini chapters in the overall book of our life. And before we get into that, I just want to say thank you for being a listener of the show. I appreciate your love, support. For a while there, I was kind of broken in this hiatus of not having the same urge and want and desire to speak to you. For some odd reason, I lost that passion and commitment to be there with you guys through the journey. I started this journey many, many moons ago, about 5 years ago, and it's been great. A lot of good things have come out of it, but as we know, in the seasons and different tides and oceans and winds of life, there are times that they push us in the right way, and then there are times of the waves and the wind and the season pushing us against it. And the question is, how do you stay with something for the long term? How do you stay motivated for the different journeys and twists and turns of life? Unfortunately, there is no answer. Sorry to ruin it for you. There's a lot of great books out there. There's billions of books out there on how to find your passion and stuff. But the one thing that they don't talk about is how to sustain that passion, because we all have passion for something. But it's very hard to sustain a passion when it creates a lot of need for energy and motivation and oomph and time and dedication and sacrifice. And when you get into that kind of churning of the wheel of figuring out and doing your passion, it's tough. It really is. And I think it's good for all of us to separate. It's all good for all of us to reflect. It's good for all of us to kind of break away and to re-identify the journey. But the thing you got to remember is that when you do embark on a journey and you find yourself kind of in this vortex of, I don't know, should I continue or shouldn't I continue? You need to reflect on the person that you are. If you're the type of individual that quits after a couple of months of doing something, if you're a person that talks big talk and then when it comes down to it, you disappear or you can't commit or you don't succeed or you don't fulfill the destiny of what it is that you want, you need to realize that within yourself. And you need to identify if this is maybe a hiccup in the road or is this maybe a recurring theme in your life. And so I don't know what the answer is for you, but it's nothing more than a question or a statement for you to realize with and hopefully to figure out. So today we're going to be talking about the numbing of life. Now, life is amazing. Life is joyful. Life is pleasant. Life is love. There's a lot of great keywords associated to what we have, this life. Why are we here, right? What is the purpose? What is the mission? What's the idea behind it? Unfortunately, I don't have that type of access to share with you guys what is the point. But I do know that through our time, through the years, it doesn't matter from grade school to college to early 20s to late 50s to even the 80s, there are moments where we will numb thyself. And numbing can come in a couple of different facets. Numbing can come from truly a realization of not so much of numbing oneself, but numbing the things around us. Maybe you're losing friends around you. You're losing good connections. You're losing the family that supported you. You're in financial numbness. You're overdrawing on your account. You're getting late fees. Your credit score is declining. You're not able to pay the bills that you have in your life. Numbing of different pains within the body, mental ailments, cardiovascular, knee problems, back problems, general body pains. That's a huge one. That could be related to diet, to exercise, to the way that you're currently living. But then also, too, we are able to numb in different facets. We're able to numb through entertainment, TV, internet. We're able to numb through drinks, addictions. We're able to numb through food. We're able to numb through games. We're able to numb in a very much broad approach when it comes to our life. And I think there is value and there is a time for numbing. Numbing doesn't have to be as dark and dismal that I'm talking about, but numbing can be in the form of a vacation. Numbing can come in a form of really immersing yourself in your weekly show. It can come in the form of really embracing and going to that season ticket that you own at that baseball stadium, football stadium, golf outing, what have you. There are good numbing agents, but the key is understanding if these numbing agents are assisting you or prohibiting you from living the best foot forward. Now, I am fortunate enough, I'm going to be part of a big launch of a new podcasting platform. I cannot say to you guys as of yet because it's in the works and I'm getting all the details ready. But what the idea out of it is that the idea of numbing comes into the idea of what it is that you want to get out of it. And when I'm putting together this kind of paperwork and description of this and that, what I realize the whole reason you and I are here right now isn't so we can be freaking awesome and just go out there and run crazy, but it's to become better. And Jim Rome has an amazing quote. It says, "Don't wish it was easier, wish you were better." Don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. And better is the key word. Better is the idea. Better is that thing that we're all striving for, right? That's the whole point you get up every single day. That's the whole reason why you go to work or you talk to your spouse or husband. The whole reason why you're raising kids is to be better for them, to be better for yourself. And when we come into contact here of the different ways that we numb ourselves, it doesn't assist us in becoming better. What it assists us is becoming easier. We want things that are easy. Food we want now. We want relationships in the comfort of our home, on our phone. We can swipe left or right depending on your like and taste of a gender or a person that you're trying to seek. We want convenience. Convenience equals easy to us as the consumer. It was a big step when Chinese food delivered. It was a big step when people came to your house. But that is just the tip of the iceberg. We can now be anywhere we want in the world, and we can have a convenience of a car that can pick us up in the form of Uber or Lyft. We can have the convenience of getting a very decorative, high-quality coffee in our fingertips by walking into a store and being in a totally immersive, different experience. We're very much into this way of being easier, things being easier for us. But unfortunately, to get to the world of better, trying to become better is actually really complicated. It's really hard, especially when you have these numbing agents around us. And the question is, and the question I get asked a lot is, how do you get out of a funk? How do you get out of this rut? How do you get out of being in this weird position that all of us get caught up in? And the question is not so much of understanding of where you are, but understanding where you want to go. Where do you want to go? Getting pulled out of something instead of trying to feel like you're in this vortex and trying to figure out how to get out of it. If you have an idea of where you want to go, it allows you to pull out of that situation. You are in a completely different situation than where I am currently in my life. My life is totally different. I got 3 young kids. I'm in different businesses. I work full-time for the fire department. There's a lot of different facets that we're all involved in, and the question is, where do you want to go? Unfortunately, a lot of us are lost in that. Fortunately, in the beginning, we're clear. You're in college, you know by getting a degree, you're going to hopefully get a job. That job is related to your degree, so you know that there is a cause and effect. But unfortunately, when you're out in the world and you're living as an individual, the cause and effect is not as impactful as it once was. You understand by you going to the gym every single day, isn't necessarily meaning that you're going to become a bodybuilder or win Mr. Olympia, which is the iconic bodybuilding title. But it means, though, that you're going to have a better body than if you didn't. And unfortunately, the results may vary. By you going to the gym every single day doesn't mean that you're going to be going there and sweating profusely and working your butt off and making gains to the point of you're laying there in a pile of sweat from your own hard work and you're looking up at the ceiling going, wow, that was amazing. Just knowing that you are going to do that again. But if there was a cause and effect, if you knew the effect was that you were going to try out for the NBA or a football team, sure, you understand your hard work should put off, or it should pay off, I should say, pay off. Excuse me. But it's hard, though, when you wake up at 5 a.m., you go to the gym knowing that you're going to go to work that day, and you really don't have the oomph, the want, the motivation, the excitement that maybe you would have if you were trying to go and use your body and ability to make an impact for your lifestyle. And so that's where it comes back to of why are you doing what you're doing? Why am I on this podcast talking to you around the world, sharing my wisdom, my ideas with you right now, driving, walking, working out, cleaning your house, taking care of the kids, or just laying there in bed thinking you should get up and go to work? Why? I don't know. I had a clear path. Early on, I was excited. I was a new, podcaster in the space. I wanted to be the next Tony Robbins. I wanted to do great things. I wanted to do, hold my own events and speak on big stages and hold online courses and have the wardrobe to say that I'm a professional speaker. And you know what? I did that. I held my own events. People from around the world came to Milwaukee, Wisconsin to my event. I had online courses. I bought the wardrobe of custom clothing. I've exceeded in downloads and had advertisers from top 30 companies give me money to talk about their business, to talk about their products on my show. And in the beginning, that's what I wanted, and I achieved that. And so now, 5 years later, what the heck am I still doing here? I accomplished those goals. I accomplished those things. Now what? Well, it'd be easy to say, well, go for bigger goals. Go for grand ideas. Go for the world stages. Write a book that can be on the New York Times best-selling list. But what I realize is that the things that you want, you will get. You truly will. If you work hard, you pay the price, you give up things, you work at it, you will get it. It's a guarantee. And I can raise my hand and say you will full-heartedly get whatever you want, just as long as you're willing to sacrifice what's needed to get there full-heartedly, it will happen. But what happens after the fact? After you reach that? After you get that? After that vision that you have for yourself, you actually obtain. Does it become a job? Does it become a chore? Does it become a interest to you anymore? I don't know. The question is up to you. And so getting back to the numbing of life, the reason why people numb themselves is because they got to that point. They got to that level. They got to that thing. And when you reach that thing, you realize, well, do I really need to push myself harder to the next thing? Or the next, and the next, and the next? And that's where the difference lies in the overachievers versus the achievers versus the people that are just happy. The overachievers is like Elon Musk. I was fortunate to listen to a podcast of Elon Musk. Elon Musk is the guy who created Tesla. He created SpaceX. He was one of the first guys that was part of PayPal, was one of the first individuals to create turn-by-turn navigation. The guy has a unsurmountable amount of ideas that he wants to accomplish. And by having these lavish and out of this world, literally out of this world ideas, it allows him to wake up and to continuously move forward for that. So you can consider him an overachiever. Achievers are the people that set a goal that is outside of their reach. They work for it, they achieve it. For me, for example, creating a 3 day event, hosting it, in a luxury hotel, spending lots of money, providing great experience for the consumer. And after that, then what? I achieved it. I worked hard at it. I did it. I completed it. That's an achiever, right? You set a goal, you achieve it. And then lastly, the person that's happy is a person that is happy where they're at. They don't set lavish goals. They don't even set goals that they try to go after. They continuously do what they need to do to live and to be happy. Those are individuals that either work at a corporate job. Those are either individuals that are out in nature and they're doing guided tours, but they're still doing their own thing. They could be living at a nice house or a tent or on the road or wherever, but they're happy. And the question is, where do you lie within that vortex of your position? It's interesting. Tonight, for my bedtime story to my kids, I talked about Ernest Shackleton. Ernest Shackleton's story is pretty impressive. Ernest Shackleton was an individual from the early 1900s. He was an explorer. He was intrigued by trying to explore one of the last unknown places in the world, and that was the South Pole. And in that journey, he went through a lot of chaos and irritation. His boat that he brought down to the South Pole got crushed by icebergs. He was out of the boat. All he had was his crew, his tools, some dogs, and a will to live. And that will to live allowed him to have an amazing story that I tell my kids in the evening. I tell them at bedtime. It's a story that is written in children's books and adult books. It's a story that is plagued and written about all over the internet. And if you don't know about Ernest Shackleton, please Google him. He will inspire you on the desire to fulfill a goal. And that goal for him was to survive, of course. But most importantly, he was able to have a story that is inspiring. And inspiration can do a lot to you. Inspiration can move mountains. Inspiration can allow you to open up your eyes to what is possible. But the problem is when you do see the possible and you achieve possible, what's beyond possible? I don't know. Being a better person, being more engaged, being your best, it's an interesting dilemma. Either way, we all number ourselves in different facets, different ways, different abilities. The question for you is to understand that when you start numbing yourself, that you're aware of it. If you know you're going to be numb, then embrace it, understand it. But if you can't understand why your knees are starting to hurt, why your back is starting to hurt, why your pants aren't fitting, maybe why you're losing your friends and your family, why you're using every single night of your week and your weekend watching Netflix or TV or drinking or binging on food, you need to see the warning signs. Because maybe, just maybe, you're an achiever trapped in a happy lifestyle. Or maybe you're an overachiever trapped in an achiever's lifestyle. And I'm going to leave that up to you of figuring out who you are. What is it you want to go for? And what is it that you can become? Life is an interesting dilemma. Life is an interesting road. And it's up to us to figure it out. It's up to us. And most importantly, it's up to you. So hopefully this can inspire you. Hopefully this can get you moving. Hopefully this can maybe get you grooving. But regardless of say, I'm back. I'm back to be with you. And if you want to be part of this journey, join me. If not, well, I appreciate you. I thank you. And to the people that are tuning in for the first time, go out there, be freaking awesome, and share a little bit of awesomeness with somebody else. With that being said, I appreciate your time. I thank you for being a part of Operation Self Reset. If there's anything I can do for you guys, send me an email, jake@operationselfreset.com. And until next week, Wednesday, go out there and be freaking awesome. We'll see ya.